Hello students. Next problem, 58th one. This is important for NEET and JEE. For the case set, part of the concept question can be asked. It is related to the lateral shift. Symbol we take it as L subscript S. Normal shift, lateral shift. Two types of the shifts we will consider when the light is passing through the parallel sided glass slab. T is the thickness of the slab. Light is falling from the top at some angle of incidence I with respect to normal. It deviates toward the normal, going into the denser medium, and again emerges out from the other surface. But deviation is 0 here. Light is not getting deviated. What it happens is again it comes parallel to the incident ray. Condition here for the CT purpose points I am discussing also in this. What they ask is light ray here. RS is the emergent ray, PQ is the incident ray. RS is parallel to PQ but not in the same line of path. The light is supposed to go like this. It deviates and again deviates so that it will become parallel to the incident direction. Overall deviation is 0 but shift is there. Instead of going here, it will be shifted to the other side. They will ask you this RS is parallel to PQ for what condition? The condition is that the medium, when incident medium and final emergent medium should be the same. If this is air, this should be air. If this is water, this should be water. This can be glass or whatever you take. These two mediums are same means then RS is parallel to PQ, one condition. Another condition is if light is falling normally, do you find any normal shift means any shift is there means no. If light exactly forms parallelly, then I equal to 0, R equal to 0 side light simply goes straight line path only, there is no lateral shift. So lateral shift minimum is 0 when I is 0. So conditions we discuss is when I is 0, LS is 0, that is for the normal condition. These are minimum conditions. If the light ray is coming parallel to the surface, upper surface, like this, it goes and comes from here. That means total lateral shift is nothing but equal to the thickness. So LS is equals to T, that is the maximum. What is the angle of incidence is equals to 9 degrees. These two only conditions they will ask you for CET, but the problems will be given with values for the NEET and JEE. For CET generally they don't ask for the problems related to the lateral shift. It is not there for your theory exams also. So when I is equals to 9 degrees, light ray falling grazing the first surface, comes out grazing from the bottom surface. The shift is LS equals to thickness when I is equals to 9 degrees. That is the maximum shift you will find equal to thickness of the slab. And minimum shift is equals to 0 when I is equals to 0. In that case there is no lateral shift taking place. In any other cases lateral shift takes place and there is no dispersion of the light when light is passing from along the parallel sided glass slab. Dispersion means white light if you pass now it won't split into 7 colors for the parallel sided glass slab. White light coming here comes also white light only. Next is if the ray is falling here, it deviates and length of the path. Length of the path is QR. In these 2-3 types of points they will ask you. One is a lateral shift. Another one is that I told you minimum and maximum conditions of the lateral shift. Another one is what is the length of the path QR inside this glass slab in terms of the thickness and others. Here applying Snell's law for the surface, first surface, sin I by sin R is nothing but equal to N2 by N1. If it is air, N2 is N only, we take it as equals to N. Of the glass means N glass we need to take generally. And the deviation becomes equal to I minus R is the deviation. And cos R, this is a right angle triangle, cos R is nothing but equal to adjacent side by hypotenuse. Adjacent side is thickness T, hypotenuse is QR. So cos R equal to T by QR. From this you will get the expression for QR. QR is nothing but length of the path. QR is the length of the light path inside the glass. They will ask you this point. So not for CET please, not for KSET, it is only for other competitive exams, NEET and JEE. And for that purpose, R purpose means you have to take the help of the Snell's law to find out R and then you have to substitute the value here. Then deviation is nothing but equal to I minus R. Next if you take this right angle triangle, lateral shift is the perpendicular to the incident light ray and final emergent light ray. This is lateral shift, LS. And if this is a right angle triangle again, then what you get the relation, this is a hypotenuse. This is 90 degrees here. This is 90 degrees. So these are going to be hypotenuse. We can take the sin D. Sin D is nothing but equal to opposite side by hypotenuse, LS by QR. Sin D, D is nothing but I minus R, sin of I minus R equal to lateral shift by QR, length of the path. By substituting this you will get the expression for lateral shift as LS equal to T by cos R into sin of I minus R. One more equation is there apart from this in the synopsis. That formula is not required, that is only for JEE advanced problem points only, but JEE main up to that only this is enough. And NEET also. Next in this question what they told is ray of light is incident at angle 6 degrees. This angle of incidence is 6 degrees which is normal to the glass slab of thickness. Thickness is given as root 3 centimeters and refractedness of the metal is root 3. Refractedness metal is also equal to root 3. Find the shift in the path. They didn't mention what is the kind of shift, but it is supposed to be lateral shift. Find the shift in the path of the light ray as it emerges from the slab. That means lateral shift is how much? I is 60, T is root 3, and we are asked to find a lateral shift formula T by cos r into sin I minus r. I is given for us and N is given, but R is not given. We have to find out. T is also given for us. So R we have to find out. For that purpose you take the help of Snell's law. Sin I by sin R is equals to N. N is root 3. So sin R is equals to sin I by N. Sin I is sin 60 by N is root 3. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2 by root 3. Root 3 is root cancel, 1 by 2 you will get. Sin R is equals to 1 by 2 means sin 30 is half. So R equal to 30 degrees. Now we got R, we know I, and we know even T. Substitute in the formula for the lateral shift. Ls equals to T by cos R into sin of deviation. Sin of I minus R. R is 30 degrees, cos 30, root 3 by cos 30, T is root 3. Sin of 60 I minus R is 30. 60 minus 30 is 30, sin 30 is half, 1 by 2. And this is root 3, 2 cancels, root 3 cancels, the result is 1 centimeter. No need to convert it to SI units here for these problems because the result is also here. Sine angles will be cancelled, LS and T are the distances only. So if meters means centimeters, no need to make the conversions. While doing the calculations, at the end if required you can make the conversions depending on the options units mentioned. Next, a similar problem I am going to make a little jump and we will discuss the remaining later, related to this is a 50, 49. Next question is 61. It is also related to the lateral shift. A ray of light is traveling from A to glass of refracting 1.5. The angle of incidence is 50 degrees. The deviation of the ray is how much? Ray of light is traveling from A to glass. Is not related to that. Please, A to glass, only half part is sufficient. Ray of light is traveling from A to glass of refractance 1.5. Angle of incidence is is 50 degrees. Find the deviation of the ray. They asked in terms of the symbols only. Just a remanipulation of the existing equations you need to consider. Light is traveling from air to glass. Options: 80 degrees, B second bit, 0 degrees, third option, sine inverse, sine 50 by 1.5 minus 50, and the fourth option 50 degrees minus sine inverse of sine 50 by 1.5. Light is traveling from air to glass. This is normal. Light ray incidenting. This is the angle of incidence I. It deviates towards the normal because it's going to a denser medium. This is R. Supposed to go straight, this is going to be the deviation. D is nothing but equal to I minus R. Answer: I is equals to 50 degrees. Path is from air to glass. so that deviation becomes equal to I minus R. I minus R we have to find out is how much. Snell's law, if you take now, sin I by sin R equal to n, that is equals to 1.5. It is going to be sin 50. Sin 50 by sin R equal to 1.5. That means sin R is equals to sin 50 by sin R is equal to sin 50 by 1.5. R equal to sin inverse sin 50 by 1.5. You are asked the deviation. Therefore, deviation D is equals to I minus R. I is 50 minus R is sin inverse sin 50 by 1.5. This is the answer. Next, the skipped problem 59. This is very important for all competitive exams. Fish in water or diver in the water, from observing from the waters. Point source of light is placed at the bottom of the water lake. A point light source is at the bottom of lake, bottom of lake of water or water lake. If area of illuminated circle, area of illuminated circle on surface is equal to 3 times the square of depth, on surface is equal to 3 times the square of depth of lake. Find refractiveness water. Find refractive index of water. Water refractive index generally 1.5, but it is a sea water, etc. The value can be different, but here in terms of the different symbols, in terms of the pi it is given. Fish or diver or light bulb in the water. Fish, divers are persons which is inside the water. Light bulb in water. It is related to total internal reflection problem. If the person is at depth h, you can take the light bulb also, or fish seeing the outside world, you can say. If the person is inside, or if you take the light bulb here, light rays traveling in different directions, some light rays striking the surface may make the critical angle value, then light rays will be grazing surface. So light rays coming here, this is a 3-dimensionally like a conical shape you will get. Same angle here, C, this is C critical angle, so this is also C. Same thing this side also happens. All directions 3-dimensionally like conical angle you will get. So bulb, light bulb, if you see from top, if you keep the bulb here, light is not seen everywhere. You can see the light only in this area. Only in this area. If a person is swimming in the water at this place, or fish in the water, it cannot see all places outside. Outside all the places, the whole world appears only within the surface. This the radius is r. Area is equals to pi r square. Within this radius only you can see the outside world completely. This is called as a horizon. So the setting sun can also be seen here within this circle only. That cannot be seen other side. What happens outside things? The light is going beyond this point. The angle of incidence is more than critical angle. Then light rays comes back only. Any light ray going other places other than this point will be reflected back into the surface water only. Therefore, other place what you see is outside this point. You will see the fishes of the water, fish in the water, or objects in the water only you are going to see. So within this area only you can see the outside world. This is called as a horizon. Setting sun can also be seen here. This portion is called as a horizon. Can be seen within the circle of radius r. What is the relation for the radius r? This reflectance of the water is n. Is taken as n for this. This is the air we are taking. So critical angle sin c. Sin c is equals to n to 1 by n. It is n by n water we need to connect. N water is 4 by 3, that is okay, but it just for this problem values given is different. Sin c. Sin c is also equal to, if you take this relationship, right angle triangle, sin c is also equal to opposite side by hypotenuse. This hypotenuse. Hypotenuse becomes equal to under root of r square plus h square. This is also equal to opposite side r by under root of r square plus h square. And tan c, if this is c means this is also c. Tan c is nothing but equal to opposite side by adjacent side r by h. And equating this relation, now what you get the expression for this radius? Solving it cross multiplication, no? Radius of circle r is equals to h by under root of n square minus 1. If n is equals to 4 by 3, what you get the relation is r is equals to h by 3h by root 7 you will get. That you can substitute and check up. Next is tan relation. One more, sorry. Square both sides, you will get is r square n is equals to r square plus h square, and r is this much. Area of the circle is equals to pi r square you will have. Area equal to pi r square, and tan c is equals to r by h. What is the critical angle for TIR conditions? You are given here, area is given for you. You are given here area. Point source is at the bottom of the water length. Area of the elementary circle on the surface is equals to 3 times. Area is equals to 3 times the depth. H is the depth here. H is depth of the lake. These formulas you need to remember. Mainly required is this radius, area you can easily find out, and area and radius relationship, and this value when n equal to 4 by 3, what happens? This radius is n equal to 4 by 3 if given, then r is equals to 3h by root 7 you will get. That you can calculate and check up. I will tell you that later. Depth radius is equals to of circle r is equals to h by under root of n square minus 1. Area is equals to, area of the circle is equals to pi r square. You are given area equal to 3 times h. Area equal to 3 times h. That means pi r square equal to 3 into 3 times square of the depth, 3 times h square, please, sorry. Square of the depth, 3 times h square means h square. Pi into r square substitute here, that means h square by n square minus 1, root is removed, I am squaring it, equal to 3h square, h square cancels. You will get is n square minus 1 is equals to pi by 3, n square equal to pi by 3 plus 1. N you have to find out, refractive index of water, n equal to under root of pi by 3 plus 1, this is the answer required for us. Next 60th question is related to the square root of pi by 3 plus 1. Minus 1 correct only, no? Next question is 62. These very important ones. Next question is 62. Vessel of height 2d, half filled with a liquid of reference index root 2. A vessel of height 2d is half filled with the liquid of refractive index root 2. And remaining half is filled with the refractive index of n2 is equals to n. Then the apparent depth of the inner surface of the bottom of vessel as observed from the outside. Find apparent depth of bottom of vessel. That means just in apparent depth of the bottom of the vessel as visible from the outside. You have to find it. Neglect the thickness of the bottom of the thickness of the vessel they considered. This is a glass vessel. Bottom, this thickness you need to consider, the bottom visible here, this bottom is visible from the air, you are seeing from this place. Total depth is nothing but equal to 2d is given for us, and half of that is filled, half of that is filled, this is going to be d, real depth 1 is d, this is also d, one reference index is n1 equal to root 2, n2 equal to n. There is going to be real depth, this is also real depth of each ones. What is the total apparent depth you need to find out. Total apparent depth is nothing but equal to sum of the two apparent depths, dA1 plus dA2. They didn't ask you the shift, notable shift not asked, they just asked the apparent depth of the inner surface of the vessels. Total apparent depth you asked to find out. So here reference index observed in the air you have taken, observed in the air. N is equals to real depth by apparent depth. You have to take the apparent depth. This is nothing but we take it as a d real by d apparent. Here real depth dr1 equal to dr2 is equals to d given for us. What is real depth is equal, apparent depth is equals to n dr by d apparent equal to dr by n is equals to dA1 first material, no, dr1 by n1, and d apparent 2 is equals to dr2 by n2. Total apparent depth, just summation you have to take. D apparent total equal to dA1 plus dA2. dr is a d only by n1 plus d by n2. D take out common. 1 by n1 is 1 by root 2 plus 1 by d. So 1 by n. 1 by root 2 plus 1 by n. Take the LCM of this. So d apparent total is equals to d, denominator is n root 2, n plus root 2 LCM. If you take this is a total apparent depth. This is important problem for all exams. Next question. 63 also very important ones. 63. Ray of light is incident. Ray of light incident normally on the one surface of right angle prism, isosceles prism, grazes the hypotenuse. Light incident normally on first surface of right angle prism. Prism grazes the second surface that is given as a hypotenuse. Find refractive index of the material. Refractive index diagram you must take this angle. This is the angle of the prism equal to 45 degrees. This is also 45 degrees for the right angled isosceles prism, it is called as. And light ray is falling normally here, there is no deviation here. So I1 equal to 0, R1 is also equal to 0, but here you take the normal. This is a normal. This is going to be the critical angle because light is grazing the surface. Grazes surface. Same C. So this A, this C itself is equals to R2. R2 equal to C we have to get. This is 90 degrees. So we have the formula. Light ray grazing the second surface. So what you get is R2 is equals to C, critical angle, for TIR for the second surface. R2 equal to C and A equal to R1 plus R2. What is R1? R1 equal to 0. Therefore A equal to 0 plus R2 is C. So A equal to C. This condition also you need to remember. Next relation is sin I by sin R. You are asked to find a refractive index n. Sin I means sin C is equals to 1 by n. Sin C itself is A. What is A equal to 45 degrees. So sin 45 equal to 1 by n. Sin 45 is 1 by root 2. So n equal to 1 root 2, which is 1.414 is the answer. That problem is very important for all exams. We'll stop here. Remaining problems we'll discuss in the next class.